My mom told me not to talk to strangers on the internet, but I'm glad I didn't listen. We are the Certified Nunas, your sisters in the love of Asian entertainment.
Hi, I'm Amanda.
I'm Jessie.
I'm Natalia.
And I'm Sky.
And today we are talking about a literal fetus of an individual, a literal child who is just taking over the music industry in Korea at the moment, even though if you were to believe the Twitter timeline, no one has ever heard of him. But we have, and we're here to chat. And that's right, we are going to talk about singer-songwriter, young child, Lee Mu Jin, who is just...
He's a
delight.
Adorable.
And he is up for a crap ton of awards at the music award ceremonies coming up at the end of the year. So even if you've never heard of him, if you're interested in Korean music awards, you're going to hear about him pretty soon.
Yeah, you've probably already seen him and gone, who is that keeps on popping up in every category?
Yeah.
Like
name. What's going on?
So periodically, if you are the type of K-pop fan that does like watch the music shows, you know that they don't just have K-pop groups on there, but also certain of those shows pay more attention to the charts and stuff, and we won't get into all that, but it shows other types of music that end up incredibly popular in Korea aside from just K-pop. I was about to say simply K-pop, that's actually a show, but like another example is there's an incredibly popular trot singer who periodically goes up against all these K-pop groups, and so everyone, he's like the favorite trot singer of everybody now because like he's around a lot for all the so Lee Mu Jin, the way he came into notoriety recently was he was in a show called Sing Again, a competition show, but that's different from say the Idol competition shows in the way that the whole point of the show was that these people were unheard of, and it's not that they were making a group, they were just trying to become more popular. And they did get ranked at the end and things like that, but pretty much the top 4 was really what you were trying to get into, because then you were going to get, you know, be on some shows and get a lot more exposure and things, and hopefully just naturally kind of record deals and things out of that. That's just kind of the way that works. And then the judges for this were a variety of incredibly talented musicians and even people you've definitely seen, like one of the people from Super Junior, one of the people from Winner, like you've seen these people. So Lee Mu Jin, he, even the first time you see him perform in this show, he just knocked the socks off of the judges. Like they really couldn't believe. No, it wasn't simply, wow, he sounds good. It was just the way he was making the song his own. He was covering a song. It's not like it was his own personal song.
And even though he had just the saddest, most damaged looking hair you've ever seen in your life, his cuteness shone through regardless.
Even from then, he's very witty with how he does pauses or something. I mean, he just really plays with the song. It's just really fun to watch him perform. So yeah, and he got, you know, all the judges eventually kind of like the thumbs up essentially of that type of show. They were all pretty impressed by him, and then from then on he was just pretty much one of the favorites of the show that kept on popping up and being one of the big forces within that. And anytime he performed as a duet or by himself, it was just his stuff would go viral, which even for that type of show wasn't as common as you would think. Like the level of notoriety that he would get, like 15 million is not easy for anybody to really achieve when you don't have a name for yourself already. And even the judges would say that. So it was a pretty big deal. Like if you haven't heard him before, and if I just had to like pull out of the air, I'm not saying he sounds exactly like him, but as far as like how Jason Mraz kind of bends his stuff a little bit, I'm not saying it's exactly the same, but kind of that thought a little.
I can see that.
So that's kind of what I'm talking about if you haven't seen it. But he doesn't have a huge catalog yet, but he definitely, he pulled in some OSTs, and we're going to be talking about all that. And one other thing that I really, really wanted to mention was, so he was on Sketchbook with one of, I mean, the guy was a judge too, but they were talking, and he's the type of musician that you really think, oh, he was born with this. Because some people are. There are some people that are simply like that, right? To where, you know, they just see the world in music type thing. He's not that way. He started learning the guitar in like 4th and 5th grade, and he just worked his butt off. Like, he said he was tone deaf. He didn't know, like, he couldn't follow rhythm and beat at all. And he just tried really hard and he just learned. And so anytime when he goes on these shows and people are like, oh, must be a genius and all these things, his mom gets really mad. Because his mom's like, no, they don't know that, like, you literally couldn't sing. Like, it was bad.
They don't know you were terrible. Like,
and you worked really hard.
Terrible.
And you worked really hard to become that. And I think that's a testament to, like, how hard he worked. The fact that, like, he's blowing these professional musicians' minds and he learns. And that's not to say, when I say he's a no-name and stuff like that, he's studying practical music. It's not like he taught himself in a chamber just by himself or whatever, but I don't know, I think that's really cool that he was able to go from being tone deaf to the performer that he is today. I think that's a huge jump, and I think that even for the professional musicians, they're like, whoa, because I imagine some of them might have had some natural talent or something, but he's like, no, I didn't have any of that, none.
It's a real misconception that people have that, like, musicians are naturally talented at things, because talent is only like 5% of skill. Like, it's
it's a weird thing to, like, not have that 5%, like that base level talent for music, and just decide that that's the thing you want to do. So you're going to work. It's like not having any ability to draw, but deciding you're going to be an artist because that's what you want to do, right? And, like, it's possible. You can train yourself, but, like, you think, okay, but you should have something to start with. You should be able to, like,
it's
put lines on a piece of paper, you know, like
if I was literally tone deaf, like, I would be scared and not apply myself very much. Like, you know, I would think I was out of my depth, but, like, that's not what he did.
Yeah, I think it's cool. Like, more impressive, like, wanting to pick up that level more than actually being able to do it. And I have, like, a little bit more of a background to know, like, how the music like works and how you actually train for music. So anybody can really train and be fine with it as long as you're going to put in the hours for it. And every singer who has a natural talent has to train too. There's no getting around training and putting work into the craft. But it does seem interesting to decide that that's the path you want to do when you don't already have it, especially because he's so young too. Like, to figure
from what
out.
I gathered from, like, his interviews and stuff, is that he really loved how music made him feel.
That's good.
And so even if he didn't have any natural born talent, he loved it anyway. So
and even it sounds like he had auditioned for something a long time in the past, like when he was in 10th grade, and he didn't pass it or anything, but he wasn't really that saddened by it, because it's not like at that point it wasn't his, like, sole purpose in life or anything. He's like, I wasn't dead set on being a musician, really. It was just something I kind of liked at that point, so it wasn't a huge deal that I got rejected. But he doesn't talk about, you know, he's so good at this point. I'm sure there was a change where he was like, now I wish to be a musician. He didn't talk about that aspect though. But in order to get to the level that he is, I'm sure, you know, he's obviously studying music and stuff. So, but yeah, he's super cute, like, as far as his personality and stuff. And even just his interactions with people, he's just pretty adorable with how, because even when he was chatting with the guy on Sketchbook, like, he would sometimes kind of have his hand on his hip. And then at some point the guy was like, are you mad at me or something? No, I'm just
standing.
Just being
I'm just kind of being sassy a little bit when I'm talking. Sorry.
He's got that, like, real, like, charm of, like, someone who's never been in the industry at all. So he kind of is, like, a little bit awkward, but, like, in a way of just like, this is a new environment and everything's, like, new to me. I don't know how to keep my hand still, you know.
And he's also young enough that like life hasn't defeated him yet. So he still has that sort of young optimism that some people have, you know.
He is definitely still a kid, you know. Like I look at him and the way he'll kind of like joke or do something, and it's very much more like teenagers. It is like 20 somethings that, you know, like he's still young. He's still got that childish kind of sense of humor and stuff. It's cute.
I even saw a little thing like Rain there's just a little bit thing that they were doing, and he was asking him like, you know, what type of woman he preferred and all this stuff. And he was being pretty quiet about each time he had to think about like what the answer was, this person versus that person. But the whole time Rain was like, are you trying to like manage your kind of like persona right now? Like, are you trying to save face kind of? And it was obvious. He's like, I didn't even consider it. Like, that's not really, I think he was just literally thinking.
I just wanted to like really consider my options on whether I liked IU or Jenny better. Like,
the way he performs too, like vocals aside, the way he uses his body and the way he does use his hands when he's not playing the guitar and stuff. He's very showy, but not in a weird way. But it's kind of like he's acting out the words a little bit. So, and like it's pretty adorable.
So when I was watching him perform, especially when he was performing the assignment song on Sketchbook, the immediate thing, like the first 30 seconds of that song, I said, like I literally said out loud, Matthew was sitting next to me and I said, he should train for musical theater. He's got musical theater like personality. Like it takes some dance lessons, some acting lessons. He'd have a good career there.
I think it may play to what he maybe just likes in music in general. We don't really know because there's not much about him or interviews and that sort of thing. But he's got like the real like hones in on that singer-songwriter quality where they're a little bit more kind of emotional, or like they kind of like really, you know, use the lyrics of their songs and the way that they sing their songs to get the emotion across. So you could be sitting there listening to the song and not know a single word he's saying, but understand the emotion, which other groups and stuff do that too. But I think it's just like one of the like the defining things with like the kind of genre of music that he kind of lives in. And so that's what we were kind of picking up. And then it also kind of ties back to what you said about him finding a connection through music like that and it being healing. So it's probably that's where you're also picking up, because he's really truly in the emotion of the song when he sings.
You know, he's studying music, and so he's taking a lot of these composition classes and things like that. And though it's hard work for him, he will say like sometimes it's easy for him to write a song at this point. So I mean, he's put in the work to where he's learned how to channel what he likes and how to craft his songs and stuff. So the assignment song, let's talk about that. I think it's just super fun.
It's so good.
It is.
I have to say, like, you know, of the limited songs that he has, the assignment song is my favorite. I just thought it was so funny because we've all been there. Right?
So for our listeners, the assignment song, again, he's studying practical music in college. So one of his instructors assigned like 5 song projects or something all in 1 week. And so sounds like he's a bit of a procrastinator. He kind of admitted to that. And so he was working to try to get his stuff done. And so he popped out the assignment song, which starts off like a very somber, like head down, like almost a churchy.
Yeah, it's like a start of a sermon or or something.
And it's really funny so like you didn't see this on Sketchbook because he did perform on Sketchbook, but I saw a different performance of it where he had a different type of band, and they all had their heads bowed. They were like, it was so funny, and so they were all, and then even one of them acted like they're wiping away a tear. I just lost it. So he then pretty much directly talks to, he kind of directly talks to his professor, and then he kind of just talks about like the professor assigned a lot of work, so here's my song. Sorry.
And it just starts with like, I'm sorry, Professor. I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry for and literally just saying it in this like it almost if you didn't know what he was saying and what the name of the song was, like it almost sounds like it's a breakup song or like a song about somebody died or something. Like it's very, very somber.
Or you're like saying sorry to your parents or something.
Saying sorry. What's he saying? Sorry, teacher.
Actually,
like what?
That would be a really good.
Yeah.
That'd be a really good game for people that they don't know what the lyrics are. To just watch him perform it, and then at the end, like,
about?
Yeah, what do you think? Because he ultimately gets so it's upbeat and it's funny, and he's really kind of hamming it up just a little bit in certain places. Like, there's even a point where he's like, essentially, like, here's the guitar's apology, and there's a guitar solo. I mean, he's having a lot of fun with it. And, he kind of
the lyrics are all like, why did you assign so much work? I had other classes too. I admit I did procrastinate a little bit, so this might not be my best work, but I wrote it. I did the assignment. Please don't assign this much anymore. It's too much.
And then he even put in her voice.
Yeah, her voice saying something like, or right at the end, her voice says something like, "Wow, you did the whole thing." Like,
and I mean,
so good.
Who's gone to school has not been there. Like,
yeah.
I mean, every single teacher thinks they're your only teacher, and that all your free time is for their assignments, and you're like,
and let's be real, how 22-year-old of him
very true
to do that.
Yeah.
To like, 22-year-old guy, that is that's the best thing.
That was a very bold risk he took with this song, handing this song in to, like, you know.
He must have known that she was pretty good natured, you know.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Like, so on Sketchbook, he was like, so what did you like get? Like, what was your grade on the song? And he was like, well, you know, she's more of a creative type, so she doesn't believe in grades for like
grading the project itself.
Like, but I did get an A+ in the class overall, so yes, she liked it.
Well, and then I guess it's pretty common for you, Yehol, to ask a lot of these musicians and probably more of the singer-songwriter types to do little songs. Like, he'll ask for them to kind of just do a little, not a jingle, but a short, can
like
you compose something
song
small for us
show
that we can just use? And he popped out a whole darn song. And like, Yehol was just like, whoa, like that was, and he's like, haven't you been really busy? Like, I'm sure it was hard for you to compose that entire thing, you know, with however many verses and stuff. He's like, yeah, I've been pretty busy. I had to do it in between, like, doing things and stuff, but it came pretty easy. It was just cute.
Wild.
It was a really funny episode too. Like, I actually recommend watching the Din Din part as well.
Oh my god.
Because primarily Din Din sang a song, but there was a fly. And it was just really funny to where Yehol like was cracking up so much he was on his knees, like just losing it, which is not typical of him at all. So like, it was because he had seen the fly when Din Din was trying to look like really cool while he was singing, and there's just nothing to be done about it. He's like, that's the first time that's ever happened. Sorry about the fly.
And it's like, you know, so typical that it would happen to Din Din too, right?
Oh yeah, and of course he takes it, you know, fine. He was just like, of course, that's like my luck, whatever.
That's my life essentially.
But it was also fun because I guess the way they run that show at the moment with the pandemic and everything is the people that are all guesting, they're kind of the audience a little bit, and they have dividers, and then they're writing on little notes.
Sketchbooks.
So it was cute. Like, so Din Din would kind of chip in sometimes, but only Yehol would kind of like reading them off. So it was funny.
Yeah.
Talking about the professor and the professor getting good grades.
He's like, the professor should apologize. And then after he said like the professor agreed to be on the record and gave him an A+, he then holds up the sketchbook again, and it's like, the professor deserves an apology. It was a good episode.
Yeah, it was cute.
So he also did the OST for Hospital Playlist Season Dose, which was just
absolutely beautiful.
Mm-hmm. It's one of the songs he's actually up for a Mama Award for that.
All of his songs are just like really, really good.
I know, and he has like nothing. Too.
I know, it's very limited catalog, but then again, he literally only started this year. Like he's so like
he's got a lot of like collabs too. It's like especially because Sing Again, they did a lot of like collabs. So he has a collab with IU on her Lilac song that's like really good. I think they like
so
play
good.
off of each other really, really nicely.
Yeah, their
really
voices mesh beautifully.
And then he has another one with Ailey and For Heaven, and that's also really good. I love like Ailey and that song, and I just like it's fun to see him kind of bounce off these people, especially like females, so you kind of get a difference in their tones and stuff.
And then him and Mino were funny.
Yeah, the ridiculous one with Mino where like he's like just being a total dork, and like Mino's like, really okay.
It's like, was it good?
Have fun though.
Was it fun?
Yeah, they were having fun.
I really like so they were on an episode with the top 4 from Sing Again on Knowing Brothers.
Knowing Brothers,
yeah, and damn, those other singers too though were so good.
Also, oh, sorry. No, you go ahead.
No, go good. I was going to say, like, you should watch this episode that he's in. 1, he's excellent in it. But 2, the one who came in first, I forget his name at the moment, sings a cover of Sorry Sorry by Super Junior, and it is sick.
His name is Lee Sung Yoon, and he's actually the one that I had known about, that I saw him perform on Immortal Songs. There's actually a duet when they were in Sing Again. Both of those guys did a duet, and they kind of dressed the same, like same kind of denim outfit, different colors of Converse, and they both kind of had fluffy hair, Yeah,
because they were definitely the two that were like kind of the same. Like they were the ones who were up against the same vibe. Yeah.
Well, what was really cute, and I didn't go track this down, but like it was obvious the people that they were kind of dueling against was the other guy that came in the top 4 who has the long hair, who's kind of
the heavy rock singer. Yeah, he's cool.
The guy that was duetting with him had long hair too, so it was like they were kind of doing this twinsies thing. It was really cute. But the song that, well, first of all, they had to come up with a group name with Lee Sung Yoon, and so Lee Sung Yoon had performed "Honey" as his first song for the show, and the song that Lee Mu Jin had done was Nobody. I think that was the title. So they made their name No Honey. And the song was just really good. They just meshed really well with harmonizing and doing their guitars and stuff together. And it's obvious that they have a really good relationship. And then it's just really funny how, and they talk about this on Knowing Brothers a lot too, and we'll get into that. But even when they were doing the duet, it was kind of the first time that after that, they talked to the judges about, because they're both strong personalities, or that's what the judge was saying. And you both are strong personalities, or I guess I was the host. Sungi was saying that, like, did you guys, have any issues when you were collabing? No, but there is like an 11-year age gap, and all the judges were like, what? Like they didn't know that there was an 11-year age gap. Like they didn't dwell on that to like ask the judges, who do you think is older or whatever, but they talked about that on Knowing Brothers, to where Lee Mu Jin was kind of playing up the fact that like sometimes people think that the other guy is the young one,
the younger one.
He's the one in the 30s. He's like, I do not look that old, do I? Like he's really concerned.
And he also makes this joke. He's like, and what I don't like about him is he never corrects anyone.
Yeah. But listen, why would you?
You're right. You're like looking like a 20-year-old. You're gonna take that and run with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they definitely look similar in age.
Yeah.
Like if you were to guess how old both of them were, you'd say like mid-20s. Like
like until Lee Mu Jin starts sort of talking and goofing around and stuff, you would never guess that he's as young as he is. Like he looks young, but not like super
not
young.
22 young.
Exactly. Like I watched him on Enjoy Couple because I guess they're YouTubers, and he looks a lot like the guy in the couple. And Min Soo, I think the guy's name is. And so they look a lot alike, and they both hear it all the time that like, oh, you look like that YouTuber. And the YouTuber's like, he says like when they were on Knowing Brothers, his mom like called him when she saw the preview, and she's like, why didn't you tell me you were going on Knowing Brothers? And he's like, because I'm not, Ma. Like, it's not me.
But a good joke would have been, yeah, go ahead and watch it.
Yeah.
It has the same energy of Subin from TXT showing pictures of Minhyuk from B2B in his group chat with his family group chat, and was like, oh, don't I look good? And the only person who didn't realize it wasn't him was his little sister. His sister was like, this looks photoshopped.
In that video that they did with Enjoy Couple, like the girlfriend is like walking around the halls looking like, is Mujin here yet? Is Lee Mu Jin here? And she opens the door and goes, hey, like, honey, is Lee Mu Jin? Oh my God, you're not my boyfriend. Like, she's just like, oh, crap. Okay, hi, nice to meet you. But like,
that's so cute.
But then like, she's sitting in between the two of them, and she goes, I just noticed a difference. And her boyfriend's like, what? Like, what? And she goes, wrinkles. You have wrinkles. Like, this one has clean skin. Like, he has like a baby, and Mu Jin's like, because I am a baby. I'm so young. It's just cute, like how people just don't seem to get how young he is. Like,
well,
they really don't get it.
He has a very sophisticated way of singing that like is older than he should be.
I think also he kind of gives off that vibe too, like when because he's a little bit like quieter too, and so he's kind of more reserved in that way, and I think he just carries himself a little bit older until you actually get to a point where he's like a little bit more comfortable and kind of has assessed the situation of what's going on, and then he's like opens up and you're like, yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, like you kind of realize that he's shy, like, and it doesn't come across when he's performing, but when he's interviewing, you're like, oh, it's not just like aloof or anything. Like, the kid is shy. He's a kid and he's in new situations, and then when he gets comfortable, he opens
and
up
he wasn't
more,
he wasn't trained like in the K-pop system of how to deal with the media or anything. Like, he's a music major.
Yeah, and he got like so popular so fast too. There was not like a lot of time for him to kind of try to figure out these things, or like have time to constantly be doing interviews to get better at it and get more comfortable at it.
He's the type of person that would be really interesting, like if he had interviews like about that at some point, as far as that jump, because even on Knowing Bros, I mean, this is just a small example and it has to do with appearance, but so we talked about, his frizzy hair was kind of discussed a little, I guess.
Yeah.
Sing Again, when he was on Knowing Bros, like his hair is a little, it looks more tamed and stuff, because I'm sure he goes and gets it done. They're like, oh, what do you do now? He's like, I don't even know. They just take care of it for me.
They just do things to my hair and it looks like this now. I don't know.
When he was on that couple show, they're like, we tried to make his hair look like yours, but it did not work. Like, the boyfriend's hair just was a mess. And he's like, well, this is my emotions. And they're like, what? And he's like, it does this when I feel things, my hair just flips out like this. And they're like,
relatable.
Now I desire Lee Mu Jin like being emo periodically. Which would be really funny.
An emo phase.
One emo song. Yeah. That would be fun.
There's a really cute little like behind the scenes of his when he was doing Traffic Light music video. And in it, you can really start to tell he's kind of like really shy, because he has like his guitar in most of the like recordings, but not all of them. So anytime he had his guitar, he would rather like play a song for the camera than actually talk to the camera, because he was like, this is awkward. But the guy from Sing Again sent him a coffee truck, and so they show the moment when they bring him to go see the coffee truck, and you could tell that he was just like shocked that someone did that for him. And it has like pictures of them together and that sort of thing, and like he's sitting there and he's like, I'm not gonna cry because the makeup person did a really good job on my makeup. And he's just like,
he's such
he's
a
just like
bead.
looking at it, and then he like makes a point of like specifically saying hi and thank you to the person running the coffee truck, and then they had to kind of go. But it was like
Gotta
very
love it.
sweet because you could tell he was just like, I just never expected someone to do this for me. And you're like, oh my gosh, you're so cute. So sweet.
My favorite thing is part of the reason why he got known in the K-pop circles was like when he beat Lisa at Blackpink's Lisa at one of the shows, like
too.
Yeah, it's like and Music Bank.
So K-pop kids keep finding him because they're like, who's this jerk? Who is it? And like under the one video, like all the comments are like, I came here for Lisa to find out who this, but he's adorable and his song is great. So he deserves everything. And I love him now. I just like, oh, that's so cute. Like, I love that.
Yeah.
People come in angry, but they leave like in love, and it's adorable.
A lot of the people who came in angry need to fucking get a life, is all I have to say about this. Because, so the big thing was that, Lisa had to come back and he beat her. But, like, it's not technically like, oh, the music company likes this guy more. It's like, no, it's based on how many times their thing
people
was streamed
listen to a song.
and how often it was listened to and bought.
He sings in the most popular genre of music in Korea.
Yeah.
And so it was just going to happen because he could easily take over the general populace of Korea, who's like music listening, and not have to have like a streaming background to it. I just think it's actually kind of like mean to Lisa to do that to people too. And I feel really bad for her position because like already, she's like a huge popular star. She doesn't need the validation of like the award show, but it is like, it does like hurt you a little when you don't win, especially when you have to be like in front of the camera for it.
Yeah.
And then also know that like people might attack the other person, and Lisa like would like, she would sit there and she would bob along with it, and she probably like knows the song, at least knows it enough because she probably heard it in every cafe that she's ever been in like Korea.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's sad when people do that because it just like it doesn't do what they think it's going to do. It doesn't become like you being a savior for her. It's
she's
you being a bad reflection of her and people not wanting to go listen to her music.
Right. It's like at the end of the day, she still got paid. She'll be fine. She doesn't need you to defend her.
We all know that she's talented. It didn't take away her talent because another person won. The songs are drastically different too. So it wasn't even like a
literally it was just the style that he performs in is more popular to more people.
Yeah.
That's it.
And
that's
won against Stray Kids too. Like,
I don't think Stray Kids cried themselves to sleep. Like, I'm pretty sure they were fine with it. You know what I mean? Like,
they probably are friends, like him or something,
Yeah.
Yeah.
They might be good buddies, like, if they're performing
like,
on
they're
the
probably
same.
hanging out in the green room just like everyone else. You know what I mean? Sharing those weird tuna fish strawberry jam sandwiches they have over there. No, it's egg salad,
it's like,
strawberry jam sandwiches.
Yeah, the ones where they would slip in the notes.
Yeah, putting notes.
They're
probably giving him notes like, your song's cool, man. And
I really like that OST you did.
I think really also good. Sing Again was so popular, especially because they talked about this a lot. I didn't personally watch the entirety of the Sing Again because I'm not into competitions, but apparently this is the competition that we should have been watching because they specifically said that it got popular in Korea because the judges were always really nice and didn't try to bash the people participating. So every time they did a critique, it was like good critiques or like valuable critiques. Of the top 4, one of the members was Sojung from Ladies Code, and her final song, she ends up forgetting the words and she kind of like freaks out and she sits down and like
in the head,
and then she comes back up, right?
Yeah.
And they were discussing this on the Men on a Mission, like all the other people on Men on a Mission were like, you probably like we're sad that you saw the low things, and she was like, that would have just never been like, that's too high of a score to give to someone who does that, because I'm a singer and that's one of the things I have to do. I have to be able to either know all the words or be able to like power through if I don't know the words and make the song
like,
work. And I
do a
didn't
little
do that, and they
scanning to
still
keep it
gave me
going.
that. And so like it was like acknowledging the kind of like environment that the judges put them in. And I think a lot of people who are watching in Korea and elsewhere really connected with the fact that they were so nice to these contestants, and they weren't like doing the other kind of competition thing,
Yeah.
There wasn't that effort to like tear down the performers like there was in a lot of competition shows. That's why I don't like competition shows, because I always find that what a useless thing to do. You're not helping them become better artists or improve by being mean about it. The one problem with Sing Again is that it's not streaming anywhere easily.
There's like little like random clips here and there that have been like subbed, but they're usually just a 1 minute thing where it's like the intro to whatever the song, and like obviously a lot of the songs are around, so you can like go listen to them. But in terms of like trying to actually JTBC strikes again. JTBC really needs to like get some sort of streaming partner of some sort. Well, aren't they doing another one? They're doing a second season, I think. There's a lot of things I like saw that second season was happening. I saw that the guy who won, he just dropped a teaser for his studio album that's coming out very soon.
Oh, wow.
And then we just got the notification that Jun is thinking of doing a solo or like a comeback very soon too. And it was like all moving once.
So quickly.
And I was like,
well, I didn't go chase it down, but in passing, like a passing headline I saw, it made it look like the show title Famous Singer was the way the second season of Sing Again. Like, so I don't know if they renamed it, or I don't know. It was hard for me to tell, and I didn't go chase it.
Yeah, it's harder when it's not like sub.
And then it is to where if you are able to find even those tiny clips of things, a lot of them, as far as the titles, are all in Korean. It's a little bit harder.
And like searching the words famous singer. Yeah, it's not going to get you what you're hoping for. Like,
or even Sing Again. Like, good luck.
It's a veritable little scavenger hunt that these shows like us to play with the internet.
And even Lee Mu Jin, okay, he's super popular at the moment in Korea, but there were a couple of clips as far as how you spell his romanized name.
It's different.
It's sometimes MOO versus MU.
Yeah.
Like it, or if you have the hyphen in it, or if you don't, and how that throws off searches.
I did find the only thing that like really helped me is searching by their contestant number, because I guess I think because they made a point of it on like Men on a Mission, so it might have been an actual thing where like it was like constantly being just called their number instead of their name, like to a point that it was like an actual thing on the Sing Again that translated into the Men on a Mission episode. And like I would search and I would be able to find, like tested 30 like really easy because of that, as opposed to like trying to find their name.
See, but we wouldn't know this, okay? Like the average person wouldn't know. And
also
you already
watch it, so we don't know.
You already have to know their number in order to successfully accomplish this task.
So as far as the low-hanging fruit of what you can legally stream, and you can maybe do it as easily as possible. So Men on a Mission or Knowing Brothers, I don't remember which on Netflix it calls itself.
I think it's Men on a Mission.
Men on a Mission.
Yeah.
So that is on Netflix. So you can go find that. There's an episode with Lee Mu Jin and then the 3 other top 4 people that ended up on.
And it is a fantastic
It is a great episode.
It really is
so good.
It's
all
so
4
fun.
of them are phenomenal. Like, I'm biased. I love Sojung. She's my favorite. But like all of them are incredible. I highly suggest watching for the long-haired rocker guy. He's great.
He's awesome.
He's so good.
Oh my god, he's so good.
And they're so funny. That one of the things that I love about that like episode is that you could see how like the hosts are messing with everybody, but how Sojung, the actual like K-pop girl in the group, she totally like starts to like side with the host, and she's just like bantering on and on, and like just like throwing things at these three guys who have no clue how to do anything with like entertainment, and it's so good.
And then the two, they just like laugh at everything, and then the rocker guy, he's just so quiet, and he just kind of doesn't know what's going on.
He's very chill, a little spacey. What you doing?
Because he'll say things like, I'm forgetful, I didn't remember. It's like
very Eeyore.
Just like, oh, you have such beautiful hair. Like, do you go get that permed? And he's like, no, I just use a hair clip. And they're like, what? And so they con this man into like showing them how he curls and like clips his hair. And
they didn't con it. Like, he said that was his talent. That's the talent he wanted to show.
Like, I'm really good at curling my hair, and it's just so innocent and sweet. And then they're like, so like, did you win any money? And he's like, I won a massage chair. It's like, you know what? Great prize, to be honest.
I mean,
I love one of those.
Yeah.
Love one of those. But oh no, it's a good episode. You know, the sketchbook episode is on Kokwa.
Mm-hmm.
And Vicky, so it's also on Vicky, but only if you have that like
the plus
the Cocoa pass.
Yeah.
The plus pass. Sketchbook is usually pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's good because it's for an older crowd too, so you get a little bit of difference in like what you see and kind of the questions asked and stuff. I think it's like a neat little introspective thing, and it also focuses on them as like artists too heavily as opposed to like entertainers.
He's also such a chill host. Like he's very soothing and encouraging, and I've always liked his energy with that stuff. He's always professional, but like, I don't know, kind. He always seems so kind the way he interviews people. I wanted to mention, because I tried to hunt this down. I admit I did not high seize it, but because I was trying to really find the legal side of it. Immortal Songs. You know, I'm the one that like watches this show. Yeah. And I admit I do not watch every episode, but when I find something that was on it, I try to go like see the original show. So Lee Mu Jin was on an episode of Immortal Songs. The thing is, it was a Michael Jackson themed episode.
Yes.
I did not like find an article that talked about this or anything. Just from what I saw, it is absent from our streaming services.
That could be for several reasons.
Despite the fact that around it, all the other episodes were right there. So I imagine it's a copyright licensing thing right out of the bat. So I couldn't find, there might be Koreaside something. Even on YouTube, usually with Immortal Songs, they release YouTube just like the song that someone performs. Even that I can't find an official. I think it's a copyright thing. So there's versions of it. He sang Man in a Mirror.
Yeah.
And there's like a version where someone had videotaped through the cameraman's like screen. Yeah. And then there's one from like the drummer. It's like from the drummer. And it's all fuzzy and stuff. There's also just the audio. Yeah. Even just the audio. Yeah. He did a really good job.
He did a great job.
It was just too bad because the part of Immortal Songs is also, not that they have such detailed stages compared to like music shows or something, but there's usually stuff going on or whatever. Another one thing I wanted to mention, I did watch a couple of his music show performances with Traffic Light. So again, if you haven't watched a ton of music shows, if you see someone performing with an instrument, it's not live. Like that's just the way, even the bands, that's just the way it is.
Spend the time on the setup. And
so,
the rehearsals.
Since Traffic Light has horns in it, you also have people with like a trombone and like trumpet, all this stuff. Thing is, they did legitimately not even try to like they were kind of just dancing with their instruments to their faces. It was kind of distracting.
Classic caper.
I always feel sorry because, you know, like compared to other places where they can't actually perform, like it's just kind of funny.
There is also like a fan page that is on YouTube. It's called For Mujin, I think. All of this will be linked in our blog post, so don't worry about trying to search for it. But it doesn't have a lot of stuff, but it is pretty big in terms of like how long he's been around. And that's where I found the subbed behind the scenes of the music video. The Man in a Mirror thing is up there as just an audio, and then a lot of like his other covers and that sort of thing are on that, plus like some Instagram lives, or what it looks like Instagram lives. It could be V lives. Some of those are up there too, so there is like a start of a collection of other things to see him
or
do.
there was subtitles for like the assignment song, so you can kind of get more of the humor when you read along with it.
There's also a playlist on the Certified Nuna's YouTube channel that you can enjoy as well. So worry not. They will all be there for you.
I can guarantee that we'll see more of Lee Mu Jin in the coming years. Like, around.
Listen,
I very much expect a lot more OSTs out of them because
absolutely,
you get a lot of OSTs. Like we do get a lot of K-pop ones, but there are a lot of OSTs are different, are not just K-pop kids doing them. So
and also this episode right now is presenting you, the listener, with a unique opportunity to jump in on this guy before he becomes just skyrocket. We're letting
get in on the ground floor.
Yeah. That's right.
Part of the reason we were wanting to do this episode was because the Mama Award nominations and stuff, because his name is all over them, and people are going to be, we assumed people would be wondering, who's this guy? Well, this is who this guy is.
And then you get a little background.
To you.
Yeah, because he's just in so many, and it was like, you know, in categories where it's like all like heavily named K-pop people, and then him, and I was like, you know what? Who is this person? I'm sure like I'm not the only one thinking about this and trying to figure it out, especially because if you're not like super into a lot of the solo work in Korea, or you weren't watching on those times where Traffic Light was huge in music shows and stuff, so you don't have that kind of getting you into like question who he is. Like now it's like, oh, there's this guy that's on like every category.
Why is who is this man who is nominated for everything? Who are you, sir?
It makes you wonder if he's going to be on a little bit more variety shows too. It'll be interesting to see if he chooses, you know, as far as I'm sure he has commitments that are specifically tied to the Sing Again stuff that he probably agreed to. But once that kind of dies down more, it makes you wonder if we'll see if he enjoys it and like maybe pursues doing a little bit of that or not. Like it'll be interesting to see what he chooses to do. Goes on. I gotta admit, I have no idea like what label or anything he's with. It kind of makes you assume he might be in a contract with, you know, whoever put on the Sing Again show.
Yeah, maybe he has something,
or
there.
Who kind of manages that. It's obvious that he probably has a manager or someone that helps him at least go to the beauty shop.
He has an agency of some sort. We do not know who or what it is, but someone is taking care of it.
According to Wikipedia, the label is Showplay.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing that on the little behind the scenes video for the Traffic Light recording. That's the only time I saw that in the corner or something.
Well, they've made a good investment in this this young fetus.
And we also encourage you to go check out the other 3 Sing Again people.
Yes,
they're really
cool. They're really good. God, that rocker guy.
Soo Jung was like, she was blowing my mind.
Oh, she's so good. Like, I like always feel like I feel bad because like I really think that her potential was stifled because of, you know, things, but she's got such a good voice, and they kind of showed it in the Men on a Mission episode. Her voice is so phenomenal when paired with jazz, and so there is a part where she's singing, I think it was Minjin's like song, and she was like reworking it to how she would, so she's like sang just like a cappella little line, and she was starting to do that, and it's like where she shines the most with her voice. And so I was like, I wish she would do more of that stuff too.
And all of the hosts were like, whoa, we need to hear more of that.
I know this isn't the episode for it, but I really do like they do a part in where they allow her to sing the song that she messed up on, and we're so sweet and kind after she finished it, and we're like so like uplifting that she did it, and they were like, you know, very like nice to her, and like, you know, saying that she was like amazing, and like that she was able to do it again, you know, that sort of thing. And I was just like,
And
oh,
who
this
doesn't-
is so sweet.
And
Who doesn't like to hear they're amazing, right?
and
Who doesn't
even like
that?
you know they'd mimic her mistake just a little bit, but you could tell they were doing it in a way that they were trying to help her like kind of heal
Get over
that
it.
a
Yeah,
little
like
bit.
make
They
it
weren't
like, you
trying
know,
to
it's
be
just a
mean.
little blip in your radar. It's like a little thing. You don't have to worry about it.
Don't
as
worry
something,
about it.
Yeah.
like horrible.
I do like the rocker dude had an almost like a very minor version of the same thing where he like dramatically on Sing Again put out his arms and then started singing without bringing the mic back to his mouth. And everyone thought it was on purpose because you could still hear him because he has such good projection because he is like a heavy rock singer. And so they were like, wow, like that was like really great that like, you know, you were, you know, doing that
That
on
was
purpose
clever,
to
you know.
that clever like to display. He's like, on purpose.
Yes.
Yeah.
Later he's like, I legitimately forgot.
He's like,
They're all
I
like,
forgot.
you
the
should
mic
have
was
said
out
anything.
there."
Just like went with it.
nobody
like,
would
you're a
know.
genius.
Curse his honesty.
I think it would be fun because it looked like he had a cute little wife and stuff. Like it would be fun to just have a little like reality, you know, variety show that shows a day in the life of him and his little household.
That was a cute little clip of them like sharing a bottle of wine live. Like, anyway, Lee Mu Jin, he's wonderful. You should check him out. He has a very small discography at the moment, so you can literally listen to the whole thing in you can wash the dishes and
On your
hear
commute,
it all.
like yeah.
Like you can do it. You can get on the ground floor on this.
But
dude.
we hope in the next month
yes.
that there will be more.
I really don't see him not being popular for a while. I honestly think he's talented enough and he's on a good path to
I think he's
keep
going to
up
be
this
the
level.
I think he's going to be a regular go-to for OSTs going forward.
I agree.
Also, his music videos, I love the visuals of his music.
They're so
kind
friendly.
Like soft and retro feeling a little bit.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
like,
his sound is a little retro. Like it really gives me that adult contemporary, like 70s, early 80s, like the stuff you would just your parents would be listening to. It would be, you know, on the radio and whatever. Like it's just good. Just good. I don't know.
It almost kind of also reminded me of that band Janabi, like not to go into all that, but like as far as that
Janabi's been having
the tone,
this week, so.
the way the retro tone was always just talking about that
Yeah.
music, and then the way they would kind of play that up in the music videos. It felt like they played it up a little bit for these music videos.
It is kind of cute to see like some of the young like K-pop fans who are discovering him and they're like, I've never heard anything like this before, and I'm like, oh sweetie, you have like so much music that you get to listen to now, because there's a lot of music
I was just like
this
really
out there in the world.
You've never gone to a department store, like never heard anything like this.
Ask your parents to pull out their records. Like it's
every time someone says it, I'm just like, you're so little, you're so young. How have you not heard this?
Do you keep the earbuds in and then you go into Hot Topic and you take them out, and then when you leave, you put them back in?
Like, just listen, go to a grocery store and take off your headphones. You'll hear lots like this, I promise you. So this has been our episode on Lee Mu Jin, a up and coming little young whippersnapper who is taking the Korean music world by storm because he's just incredible. He's so good. You should check him out. You should look for him on Mama coming up. Hopefully he'll win one of those billion awards that he's nominated for.
And I'm sure he'll perform as well.
Oh
yeah,
I'm
sure
probably.
I'm feeling good about the OST of the year. Like I'm feeling pretty good about that one, but we'll see. So if you want to check them out, we have all the links to everything that we talk about that you can find on our website, where you can find all of our episodes and all of the links about all the episodes. It's a good time over there on the website, certifiednunas.com. You can also listen to us if you want to listen to us wherever you are. We're on all of the streaming services, man. Like if it streams podcasts, we are probably there, unless it's like a real obscure one that only you've heard of. We're probably on there.
But like Spotify, Apple, you get it. You know where. Listen, by now you know where
you are listening to us, right?
You are listening to us. So I assume you have found a podcast listening place. We'll still be on this one wherever you're listening to us now. If you want to reach out to us on social media, it's always at Certified Nunas, one word. We are mostly on Twitter and Instagram. That's where you can find us the easiest. And if you want to become a supporter of this podcast, you can go to patreon.com/Certified Nunas and become part of the Certified Found family. That's what we call our little minions who we love and who love us. And we also have a Discord where you can come chat about all things K-pop, K-drama, Asian drama, Asian entertainment, J-drama, J-pop. We got it all. We talk about everything. It's a good time. Anyway, we hope you stay safe. And if you're somewhere where it's turning to winter, keep bundled up, keep warm, put on a scarf or something, wear a mask, wash your hands, and keep enjoying Asian entertainment. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.